I've seen a few people do these type of videos, and I typically create videos I get inspired by. It's gonna be more like a podcast type episode. So, sit down, get your snacks, all of that. I'll be going through everything that happened to me from working part time at Argos, or you can call it a 9 to 5. I was actually making like £11 an hour, which at the time I was like, yeah, this is sick, bro. Like, I'm a delivery driver for £11 an hour. This is light work, right? To basically running an online business through content creation and basically that being my full time thing, which is fucking awesome. I can't lie. Right now, it's literally 1 p.m. and I'm sat in a car park doing this video because I thought, why the hell not? And look at this tidy ass microphone. Anyway, so starting off at Argos, how did it all start? So I was at uni and I was like, I'm dead broke. My first year, it was fresh as week. I was spending money. I put money aside to do my driving lessons. So that was smart because I'm in a car right now. So clearly it went well. And then second year hit, it was lockdown, you know, everything was shut. So I was like, oh, cool. But me being me, I just ended up buying bare takeout, doing less steps, kind of gained a belly, not too much though. It's like I don't I'm really I'm skinny, I'm slim. And no matter what I do, I can't say I don't really gain weight, but if I gain weight, it's like on my stomach first. So I look like skinny fat. It's mad. It's mad. Anyway, so I had like extra money even though I was just ordering takeout. And all that money went into crypto because I'm sure it was like the crypto bull run and all of that stuff. And I was like getting like really into it. And I put so much money into altcoins and money, it was working. But, everyone's like, hold, HODL, hold on for dear life. Everyone's like, hold, we're going to the moon, blah, 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 blah. And these ain't meme coins. So I'm like, there's actually a real use case behind these cryptos. And everyone's like, yo, we in it for the tech, da 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 da. Bro, if you're in crypto, be in it for the money, man. Fuck the tech. Anyway, I lost so much money during that. Like, basically got reset to zero, literally nothing to my name. Well, not homeless, like I lived at home, but literally had nothing to my name. And I was like, shit, bro, what the hell? And during lockdown, I had like a 0 hour contract with like Aston Villa and other hospitality places like Edgbaston. And because of lockdown, all those games are played behind closed doors. So there's no reason for hospitality. You know what I'm trying to say? So I was getting no shifts, I was making no money, and I lost all my money. And I'm in second year of uni. Obviously, I waited for student finance and I'll be fine. But other than that, I was like, I'm still broke. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? So I was like, what can I do? And during first year and second year, I started a YouTube channel. Didn't go too well, to be fair. And like I just saw this guy on TikTok that was like, you can repurpose videos. Long story short, I was like, oh shit, I know how to edit. I can repurpose videos, these YouTube videos and put them into short form clips because short form was coming around. So that's what I did. I outreached on every single platform to people that I wanted to work with, people that I already followed, like whether they're in the crypto space or anyone that just had YouTube videos. And at the time, I mean, it's still like that, you know there was people my age. I'm 24 now. There's people my age, 21, 22, that were on YouTube. They were doing their thing, and I was like, shit, reach out to them on like Instagram, Twitter, which is now known as X, Snapchat. Like I didn't do Facebook. Facebook probably would have been a decent one, but I did all of those, and I reached out to so much people for like a whole month. No reply. One person replied, known as Black Bezos, which now known as Faith, and he replied. He was like, "Yeah, let's work." I did him like a example video without him even asking, and that was just off my own instinct. I was just like trying. That when someone's just trying, bro. I was on my knees, bro. Pause. I was on my knees. So he replied, and then he ghosted me for like 2 weeks. I messaged him again, and I was like, "Hey, can you put me in contact with like I can't remember the podcast name. They don't even run no more, but put me in contact with this podcast because I know he knew the people." And he was like, "Nah, bro, I need you." So we jumped on a call, and he was like, "Oh, how much do you charge per month?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I've never done this before. I didn't even think about pricing, bro. I was just thinking one step at a time, one step at a time, clients, and then whatever happens, happens." And I was like, shit, okay, 300. That's just the price that went into my mind. And he was like, okay, done. Cool. I didn't know what the deliverables were. As soon as we got off the phone, he was like, yeah, 2 videos a day, 300. Obviously, I could have said no, but I was like, fuck, this is the only nigga that's replied to me, bro. So I took it. I was doing 300 £300. That's what I was getting for 2 videos per day. Of course, compared to the videos that like I know how to edit like now, that would be a lot of work. But back then it was like stripped from YouTube videos with black or white borders at the top and bottom, and then subtitles that have like 10 words per like subtitle. It was it was pretty simple to do. The hard part was basically finding the clips and not repeating the same clips. So a bunch of organizing and all of that stuff. So it was all calm. Then long story short, I started to like leverage my other skills. I was like, oh, I need to make more money because I started working at Argos at the end of third year, and I was like on a 20-hour contract, and I was doing 2 3 days at Argos, and I was like, it's pretty calm. I was just driving a van making deliveries. Plus in the van I'd either have an AirPod in while being on a phone call, or I'd listen to podcasts, and I was really on self-development and just learning money, self-development, business, content. So anything to related to that, I was literally learning it. And that's when I actually discovered School of Thought, which is Nero and Zach's podcast, which Nero ended up leaving, and then Zach started running, and then I don't know what actually happened to that, but that's when I discovered those two. And I didn't realize they were actually my age or anything like that. I was like, man, School of Thought is sick. The intro was sick. Everything was just calm. I wish it was on YouTube though, but I didn't mind because obviously I was driving the van. Anyway, besides the point. So I was like, let me leverage my skills. And I was like, cool, I can record his videos because I started my own YouTube channel and all of that stuff. I can record your videos, I can edit those videos, I'll even post those videos on your Instagram. And like this will really blow up your account because I was really tapped in and short form content was really exploding, Alex Hormozy style, reels, etc. So that's exactly what I did for him. I told him, yep, at £1,000. He was like, I can't afford that. I had no negotiation skills, bro. And he was like, how about 500? I was like, how about 550? And he was like, okay, deal. I don't even think it went like that. I think we ended up settling for 500. How I go from 1,000 to 500? Anyway, I was just like, cool, it's better than 300. Even though I've done like 10 times more work. It's mad. Mad. Anyway, we done that. And like for 2 months, he was losing followers. And then on the third month, like we were researching together and I was doing my own separate research and I was bringing ideas and I was just really on it. Then on the third month, he exploded. 500,000 followers within like the next month after after in the fourth month he reached 500,000 followers. It was insane. He upgraded office, he done everything, he started a podcast. And this is where things kind of took a turn, right? So like I ended up quitting my job at Argos on a whim, just randomly. I was like, man, they're spreading my hours, my 20 hours across 5 6 days, even though it's a 4 hour shift, travel time, just the mental capacity, the energy. It was basically robbing shit from me, bro. And I was just like, you know what? Handed in my 2 weeks notice, and I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go out there and try something. And Grant, I think was his name. He worked as a driver as well, and he was like, "Oh, so what's your plan?" I was like, "I guess I'm just gonna edit videos for people, innit?" And he was like, "So you're starting your own business? Like that's how you should like address yourself. You're a business owner who edits videos for other creators or whatever." And I was like, oh yeah, I guess so. Appreciate that. He wished me the best of luck. And all those guys at Argos were like really cool and friendly anyway. To be honest, that that job was the job and I was like, I could actually just chill here. Like I know man that have been there for like 6 years onwards. It's a chill job most of the time. Obviously managers are managers, and it like no matter what job you're in, people always have an issue with the manager because these anyway, ended up quitting on a whim. And like I had a car finance to pay for and didn't have a mad car. It was like a Toyota Yaris. That ended up fucking getting robbed. I could tell stories about that. Twice actually got robbed twice. That's a story for another day. If you guys want that, I'll put that on another episode or whatever. Toyota Yaris got robbed twice. I was like, man. But I basically just had to survive, living at home, paying off my car finance, insurance, etc., etc. So £500 from editing videos. I mean, it was cool. We used to drive to town, record videos, drive back. These are late nights, etc. Like it was cool, but it was also like I'm clearly just undervalued. Eventually, when I did quit, and I did tell him I quit because he was also like Faith was convincing me to quit. I was like, okay, cool, quit. at the new office, he introduced me to Marnie. Who else was I introduced to? Eventually introduced to Nero as well. That was completely on accident. But I started editing and filming for Marnie and Black Bezos. Marnie ended up stopping after like a month. She said it just didn't feel like her. Like that's not what she wanted to do. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like I'm not gonna convince you. I thought it was going well. Some videos really did pop off. And we had our own colors and all branding, etc. And was filming B-roll. But yeah, she just decided to fall off. Faith was also still doing it, was still doing well, still gaining followers, and he was trying to monetize. Obviously, I didn't know much, so he went with someone else to try and monetize. He was doing webinars, etc., and selling his reselling events or tickets business or whatever. And this is when things started to get a bit tricky. Like I think my pay got increased to 750, so I was getting paid 750 from him, 750 from Faith, or 750 from Faith, 750 from Marnie, whatever. So I was on like 1.5, and I was like, oh shit, this is good, man. I'm living good. And I'll just go into the office, just edit for a few hours and chill, leave, maybe eat some Wingstop or whatever. They were paying, it was good. But there was like a month where we basically started something called Wi-Fi Money, and it was basically what I did, but they fucking added a business around it. And at the time, I didn't know any better, so I was just going with the flow, you know. But looking back, it was like they took my skill and just added two other people to it to say like it was just weird, man. It was basically my business. I was doing the editing, or I would hire an editor once it came to it. But it was basically my business with two extra people as co-founders that weren't really that necessary. They were basically responsible of running the whole thing, finding clients, and then yeah, that's it. I would get majority. I'd probably get I was getting 50%, even though we signed no clients. Spoiler alert. I'd get 50% and they'll split the other 25, etc. But bro, it was just in my like what me looking back, even in the moment, I was like, this isn't worth it. But they were more experienced than me, so I was just listening. We were charging like £2,000 for 28 videos, 28 short form videos, right? And I was just like, wait, what? £2,000? Is anyone gonna do that? At the time, the most I ever charged for a short form video was probably like fucking £15, bro. But that's a whole nother topic. That's like self-limiting beliefs, not knowing your fucking worth, self-worth, all of that shit. Like, if you know your shit and what you can do, value yourself properly, bro. Really think, what is your service or your product going to do? How is it going to change their life, improve their life, make them more money? And in terms of personal branding and editing for someone, if you can edit for someone and increase the amount of attention they get, they will get more business, which means you're adding a lot of fucking value to them. Plus, those videos live on forever, which they can repost. So know your worth when it comes to that kind of shit. But yeah, we was doing that, and at the time, I was just like, the first few weeks, I was like, yeah, really excited. After that, it was like, I don't know about this, bro. Like, what? And they always got close to signing someone. It's like, yeah, we're gonna sign our friend. Like, he's making hella money. We can do this. Da 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 da. No one didn't. No one ever signed. Like, they were taking the sales calls and everything. No one ever signed. I even was close to signing my own client. Well, potential client. I was in talks personally, and then they were like, "Oh, let us handle it, and we'll sign him on, and we'll charge more." And at the time, I was dumb because we was gonna agree like 25 per video, £30 per video. But even if I let them handle it and take the split, I'd basically be getting what I'd be getting if I just negotiated it myself, and it would save the client like agency fees, and I'll just get paid directly, bro. Like, it was dumb from me, but I let them handle that. Silly mistake. Didn't end up closing him anyway, and he was basically ready to work with me. Yeah, that just didn't work out. But that's just business, isn't it? So some stuff works, some stuff don't. That didn't end up working. Marnie stopped creating content. And funnily enough, I don't know what happened with Faith. I guess it was just kind of because he moved office and everything, prices of everything went up, and I guess personal issues. But there was a month where I just didn't get paid, bro. And I was like, cool, well, boys, like, we're cool. Like, I'll get paid soon. And he was like, yeah, yeah, I'll pay you next week. This Stripe locked off or bank locked down or whatever. It was like 2.5 months in, and I haven't been paid for 2.5 months. And I was getting paid at the end of every month, not like upfront at the start of every month. So I was like 2.5 months behind. And I'm like checking my pockets. I'm like, I need that shit now. Like, I got bills to pay, my nigga. And then turns out like he was just going through some difficulties. None of my business to really explain on here. But eventually, I did get that money eventually, and he's doing very well now. So congrats to him. But yeah, so it went from there, and then we and him eventually stopped working together because of the whole payment issue, and he kind of just went a whole different separate direction with his content and just really focused on his business. And then that led me to kind of being like, okay, I need to find new clients now, I guess. But luckily, people already knew from me, and like Faith really put me in contact with other people like Code Sweet, JV. And I ended up doing my first like videography gig because I just knew how to use a camera. Funny story. I showed up to that videography gig with no tripod, bro. I was like to them, "Oh, so what are we filming?" They're like, "Oh, we're just filming like a little short snippet or something." I was like, "Okay, so I'm not gonna bring my tripod." Traveled to Leicester without my tripod. Fucking rookie mistake. I didn't have a camera bag. I didn't even have anyone to talk to about this stuff. And it was just really early days. Just my camera, my microphone, handheld. Bro, I sat there, kid you not, for about 30 minutes holding the camera as still as possible. Arms were aching. I was like, no tripod, never again, bro. Always bring a tripod. It was just some simple things that I just think, bro, are you not even thinking? But anyway, it still went well. Turned out great. Edited it for them, all of that stuff. Great people, man. Great peoples. But yeah, he put me in contact with a lot of people. I ended up working with Cold Sweet, and I did the exact same thing I did with Faith with Cold Sweet. He grew to like 60,000. And I was just like, man, I really got the fucking sauce. And I should do this for myself. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? And I was like, okay, what video should I make? Should I make videos about this, content and helping you grow? But how can I do that when I haven't even grown myself? It was kind of like a double-edged sword. Oh, I can teach you how to grow on social media, but bro, your social media account has 100 followers. How are you going to teach me to grow when you can't help yourself, kind of thing? Even though I did have social proof on other people's stuff, but if you can't help yourself, it's like, how much do you really know? How much of it is actually down to luck or that person just being extra special or unique? So I was like, let me just make tech content. I was really interested in tech. I still am, consumer tech, Apple stuff, phones, Androids, and just tech news and PlayStations, gaming, just all of that stuff, right? So I did that. And I remember starting a new TikTok for it because I was actually shook to talk to the camera. Like I was shitting my pants when it came to talking to the camera. Eventually, I dropped the video. It was so embarrassing. My hair was a mess. That's why I fucking wear a D-Rog. My hair's a mess right now. Camera angle is hella low. I was like looking down at the camera and everything. And I posted it and it just had 0 views for like 3 days. Me not knowing that brand new accounts need to get like checked by TikTok or whatever. So I closed the app. 7 days later, I come back. I'm like, just to check out what's going on, right? Bro, that shit had like 1 million views. I had like 5,000 followers. I was gassed. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like I showed Faith at the time because me and him were still cool. And yeah, he was like, "Bro, keep doing it." Blah 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 blah. I eventually fell off with it, but after doing it for Cold Sweet, I was like, "Oh, I really want to get into that space." So I started like posting consistently on there. Then I was like, "Let me post it on IG as well." And then I just started like creating content, bro. I just became a content creator. Nothing really popped off. Really, TikTok was going well when it came to tech content, but Instagram wasn't the same. And I was just figuring my way out around, improving my content, improving my scripts. And for a long time, I didn't speak to the camera on Instagram. Eventually, I did. Hella nerve wracking, hella nervous, even though it was like scripted line by line. Yeah, that whole process was so dark, man. And that's what I always tell people: if you're starting out, just bro, just go for it. Like, just keep creating. Like, I was doing this shit for ages. Bear in mind, I did YouTube before I did short form, so I should have some experience. I was still awkward as hell in front of the camera. Like, it's just gonna take you some time, especially if you're, got low confidence like I had. You're scared of what people might say or what, not even what they might say, just what they might think. Like, I used to think, man, I got a lot of people from school on my Instagram. Oh, maybe I should start a new one. And I did start a new Instagram, which was just completely unnecessary, and it was going well. And it's funny enough because I got noticed by Devin Jatto on that new Instagram because that's how early it was. Devin Jatto was just coming up. And yeah, we connected, spoke for a bit. He even followed me on that account. I was like, let me edit for you. And he was like, nah, bro, you can do shit yourself. I stopped that Instagram, went back to my personal one because that Instagram was just about like content marketing. I was like, let me just put it all into one. Plus, people were making fake accounts and trying to scam people. It was all insane, bro. Like, Why are niggas making fake accounts? My account, I had like 800 followers, even though it was new. It had like 800 followers or whatever. Probably even less than that. It was mad. Them niggas even nearly skanked my uncle. Like, he messaged me and he was like, "Oh, nice to see what you're doing on social media, but I'm not interested in crypto." I said, "I'm not interested in crypto. I got burnt in crypto. Why would I?" Like, what? I was like, "Bro, that weren't me." Luckily, he didn't fall for it. I don't think anyone fell for it. Luckily, that account even messaged me, like some African dude. It was fucking insane. Anyway, I kept it all on one account and I was just creating content. Eventually, I hit 5,000 followers. And during that time of me doing my own content, a friend called Kai, good friend, we started a podcast called The CEO of You. And we thought, oh, we can run that up because, I know a few people now. I know Faith. He had 500,000 followers. You're like, yo, we get Faith on. Like, that episode's gonna blow up. Like, we'll be famous instantly, bro. And I taught Kai to edit as well, so he knew his way around Premiere Pro and all of that stuff, and Final Cut as well. Actually, I knew both at the time. I still kind of know Final Cut, I guess, but Premiere Pro is my main thing, or Adobe products are my main thing now. And yeah, it turns out like Faith didn't want to jump on because me and Faith fell out. Eventually, he did jump on, but yeah, we had Marnie on, but Marnie was like withholding information and stuff like that. It was just hella annoying, and we tried our best to get guests on. We did go for a while. We had no money though, so like the set. At first, we were borrowing Faith's studio, but eventually we were like, bro, we need to, find our own stuff. We was using Faith's camera as the second camera and everything. And our first episode, we wore white shirts. Like it was, bro, it was all a learning curve, innit? Like it was all a learning curve. We all started and we got guests on. We connected with a bunch of people and that really built our connection and like people knew who we were because we were putting time, money, and so much effort into these podcast episodes. Like Kai used to come to my house, wouldn't leave till about 3 a.m. Pause. That might sound crazy. Bro wouldn't leave my yard till about 3 a.m. because we're editing the podcast episode to go out the next day, which is already the next day because we're in the AM. It's crazy, bro. We were putting in work, and this podcast weren't paying us. Eventually, we rebanded to the Untold Pod, where we started getting more like criminals on or ex criminals that changed their life around and basically talking about where they were to where they were afterwards because we found out people were more interested in that stuff. Even better if the person was like convicted of something, but then went on and changed their life and made something of their lives, you know what I mean? And helped other people out and stuff like that. It was just a great story. And people loved it. Like people love good stories, which you probably hear everywhere now. Everyone's like, oh, storytelling, whatever. Everyone's just obsessed with the storytelling era, man. Next year there's gonna be something else. Anyway, so we done that. Eventually we stopped. It was weird. We stopped just before we were gaining some traction. People were like, oh my gosh, you're whatever. Not saying I was famous or anything, but that happened and people were showing love towards the thing. They were kind of shocked when we stopped, to be fair, but we stopped doing that, and we were like, bro, we're broke. Like I had 5,000 followers on IG, I think at the time. I was broke, no money, no brand deals. And then Kai was like he's gonna get into sales, so he jumped into sales, door to door sales, in fact. And then he came to me like just before we were about to end the podcast because he was getting long, and he was like, "Bro, I've made £1,000 in a week in door to door sales." I said, "You made a grand in a week? Hold up, nigga." I was hesitant because I'm like, "Bro, I just want to keep creating content for myself. Like 5,000 followers, I could easily get 50,000, 60,000, 100,000. I've done it for Faith. I've done it for Cold Sweet. There was someone else. Can't remember. I'm sure there was someone else." And I was just like, "Oh, this is annoying. Like, what the fuck?" Then I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I need money now." And he convinced me. I jumped on, did door to door sales. It was really weird because, like, it's basically knocking on someone's door unexpectedly and selling something. I was hella nervous, hella quiet. I guess it built confidence in me and resilience. And within like 3 weeks, I went on to earn like 1.2 thousand in a week. And I was gassed. I was like, what? I'm making bread. Took my girl out to San Carlo, all of that stuff, bro. I was just like, yeah, man, look at me making bread. San Carlo and that see me. Fumo, see me. Gauchos. Yeah, there. I was spending recklessly. I was even like, I'm sure I bought like no, I didn't buy an Apple Watch during that time. I'm sure I was buying shit though, man. I was yo, that's a story for another day. But also, side note, this is when I realized like mindset's hella important because obviously I was tapped into Nero at the time. I'm not hella spiritual, but I've noticed everyone just kept talking about mindset. And I really honed in on my mindset. And I was like, I want to get, I think it was like, I'm sure it was like 20 sales in a day. No, probably like 10 sales in a day or 12. I forgot, but there was a record for a certain amount of sales. Let's say it was 10 sales in a single day. We went on a road trip, and the whole time I was like, I'm gonna get 10 sales in a day, 10 sales in a day. It's all I thought about, it's all I imprinted into my mind. And on the last day, on a Friday, I was like, oh fuck, I'm losing the race because I think Tuesday I went without getting any sales. I was like, oh, it's such an average week. So I was just like, okay, Friday, 10 sales. Like, if I still get 10 sales, I'll be good. Bro, started off the day, I was just banging in sales, banging in sales, banging in sales. And I had like 8 sales. There's like an hour left. It's 7 p.m. I get a sale, but I'm like, bro, I've knocked all my doors. I've re-knocked all my doors 3 times. Like, that's the max time you're meant to do it. And I was like, is there any more territory? That's what we called it. Is there any more territory to see if I can get this last sale to make it 10? All odds against me. They're like, we're coming to pick you up now, bro. We need to leave. I was like, oh, fuck, man, fuck. Knocked a few more doors, just some random doors that I found. I don't even know if they were like available to get the service that I was selling, which was Wi-Fi. I knocked it, and this girl came out. I was like, okay. And then she seemed really interested, but like it was really strange. And it was so strange. It was like, how can you be so interested when you didn't know what I was selling? You know what I'm trying to say? And she signed up for everything. Bro, that was the fastest sale. Within 5 minutes, she signed I signed her up. And that was my 10th sale. And I was like, that's so strange. Like, she could have easily said no. Like, she was more interested than I am. I was like, what the? I was like, what is actually going on here? And I made that 10th sale and I was gassed. I'm sure it was 10. Anyway, long story short, I gave like a mini speech and I was like, bro, this mindset shit really works. Like, this mindset shit really works, or the spiritual shit really works, whatever, whichever one you want to call it. I hit that sale and I was like, you know what? Maybe anything is possible. Like, things will just happen for you because you consistently think of them with such conviction and emotion and whatever Nero talks about. But yeah, that was a major shift for me. But also, I was working with Nero at the time during this time when I was doing door to door sales. Funnily enough, like I'm talking about, I'm broke. I still had a few clients, including Nero, but I just, bro, it just wasn't enough. It's not like I moved out and I had bills to pay. I just wasn't making enough, bro. Like, down to how much I was charging and everything, it was just fucking backwards. But then Nero was like to me, bro, you need to lock in because he was trying to dominate YouTube and I was doing door to door sales, editing videos. I don't think they were even that late, but the quality was still good to be fair. But other people, I guess I was putting Nero first compared to other people. Maybe it was just a respect thing or whatever. But he spoke to me and we spoke. You can kind of say he mentored me. He was like, you really need to be clear on what you want in reality, etc. And he gave me a fucking long talk, and I was just there taking it. Pause. Jesus, god damn. I I was just there absorbing what he's talking about, and he was like to me, yeah, blah blah blah. The next day, I was just like, yo, I'm done with door to door. Well, I'm done with door to door after I come back from holiday because I went to Jamaica with the family. Came back. Door to door sucks me in for like another week, but I hit no sales the whole week. And I said, yep, that's a sign I'm out. That's a sign I'm fucking gone, bro. Maybe it was no sales for like 2 days. Either way, I was gone. I was like, cool. I'm focused on content. Locked in with my content. I hit 10,000 followers in like 2 months. Then I was on 15 and I was growing. I got my first brand deal. Hollyland sent me a mic. And during this time, like Apple already sent me a PR package before I did door to door sales. So like I was small, but I was getting noticed by like big brands, and I was like, holy shit. But as soon as I locked in, I started getting brand deals. I was getting paid, not something crazy, but I was like, shit's happening. If I can get paid at this level, even though it's not a lot of money, but I was just like, imagine when I get like 20,000 followers, or imagine if I reach out to the right people and make the right connection. This is fucking crazy. I was just like, this is crazy. So I just really locked in with my content. And I was like, it all makes sense now because I'm basically fully remote, staying at home, creating my own content, getting paid from certain videos, trying to attract clients with my content as well, which was also working. Um, and because I was at home editing my content, I could easily switch over and edit a client's videos. So it wasn't like I'm out on the field all day knocking doors and I got to come home and switch my whole entire mood, mindset, and just focus on editing, considering I was physically tired from knocking doors for like 10 hours, 8 hours, or whatever. I was like, this all makes sense. This is so much easier. Like, this is the life, bro. But yeah. That's essentially what happened. And then, as time went on, my followers were just increasing. Brands started noticing me. I was reaching out to brands now with more confidence. And it's not every month I was getting a brand deal, but like every other month. And then I built a good connection with Veed. Like Veed are fucking awesome. I love them niggas. I fucking love them niggas. I don't know if they appreciate me calling them niggas. I love them guys. Don't know if any of you watch my content like that, but I love you guys. Worked with Shaw like 2 times now. Love them guys. Apple sent me another PR package for an iPad. Love you guys. Yeah, man. Like I just worked with so many fucking brands. Who else? Hollyland, Shaw, Veed. I'm sure there's so much more, man. Adobe. I even done an Adobe live. Like, what the heck? I was just like, Adobe reached out to me. That is crazy. I was, yeah, it was just crazy. And then also, I helped Nero blow up on YouTube. Like, it was like things were just clicking and it was working. And then I started my own business helping. This is the first time I actually started like promoting that I'm a coach or consultant for creators who want to grow their personal brand. And I knew this was like the next step. I was just scared to take it. And eventually I just put on my story. I had like probably 20,000 followers at the time, 30,000. I put on my story, hey, I'm going to start one-on-one coaching. If you want to grow your personal brand, DM me the word brand and I'll get back to you. I didn't set an automation up because I thought no one was going to do it. I was just like, let me just put it out there. So many people started DMing me the word brand. So fucking many. And I was like, what? I was like, pause. I've redid the story, redid my started in many chat automation and said, guys, I didn't expect so much people to DM me. I've set it in automation. If you want to work with me, DM me the word brand again, and then I'll get back to you. I did a Google form and I just asked them a bunch of questions. And to this day, 13 people filled it out, which compared to the amount of DMs I got is not a lot. But I was like, okay, 13 people, cool. It took me a week to get back to them. Nero got onto me again saying, bro, what the fuck you not getting back to people? Do you not want money? And like you fucking laughed at me or some shit. So I was like, cool, got back to them, jumped on a call with a few of them, closed a few of them. And it was a 12-week program, one-on-one, 12 weeks, 90 days. So you had 12 one-on-one calls with me. I'll review your content. I'll help you. I'll coach you. I'll literally do everything for you. And it was only like £1,000. Then I upgraded it to £1,500. And the latest price I went to was, in fact, it went to 2,000 and it also went to 2.5. And Gavin was one of the first ones I had to really convince him. He was really on it, but he was like, not sure if he wanted to invest 1,000. And looking back, I'm like, 1,000 is nothing compared to what the hell I was giving you, regardless if you got results or not. £1,000 for me to teach you everything I've learned over the last 4 years, including Nero, my own personal brand, and Black Bezos and Code Sweet and whoever else. I was like, looking back, it's nothing. But I was like, I basically convinced him, like, bro, this is like, it's going to work. I had just so much conviction and confidence that it's going to work. And he joined and he listened to everything I said and did everything I said. 3 weeks later, his business tripled. And I was like, oh shit. And then, I really had to hone in on who I was really looking to work with because, working with anyone just doesn't yield the best results and all of that stuff. And, Nero helped me, looked back, and he was like, your most successful clients seem to be business owners or people who have a business on the back end. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And he's like, that's exactly who you should be targeting. And I was like, it makes sense. So that's basically what I started doing. And also during that time, I also ran a cohort, which I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to run another one because I still feel like even though I'm targeting business owners, I feel like people still want to just grow their personal brand because they probably were in a position like me. You're down broke. You're down bad. You're broke. You want some money. You have nowhere to go. You're working a fucking shitty retail job or whatever, and you're just like, bro, what am I gonna do with my life? And you know, you have a passion, or you're really knowledgeable in something which you know you can make money from because you're seeing everyone do it online nowadays. Like, I feel like I should have something for them. I could easily do a digital product, which I kind of have done, but courses like do it yourself courses, I've bought so many and I don't think I've completed one. Whereas cohorts, it's like live sessions, group sessions. I just think it's a better model, it's a better concept. And if people join the live coaching sessions, it's just a lot better. You can get your questions answered. You have the recordings anyway. You have the community. It's just so flipping good. So I was like, let me do that. So like those are the two businesses I'm running. Like I do one-on-one coach I do one-on-one coaching and consulting for business owners who want to grow their personal brand and grow their business on YouTube and Instagram. And then I also run a cohort for people who want to be short form creators, because short form, I don't want to say it's easier, but it's a lot quicker to get into, especially if you've never done it before. And Instagram is it's a decent mix between like YouTube and TikTok. You can be discovered and you can also build something of longevity and you know, something worth something. There's stories, there's DMs. It's just a lot more of a community based platform, whereas TikTok you can go viral, but there's no money chat, so capturing leads is long. There's just so much to it, bro. But looking back at this whole flipping journey of starting off at charging £300 for 2 videos per day to charging 500 for one video per day and filming and posting your videos, to not getting paid, to working with a bunch of other people, and to starting a podcast and getting a bunch of entrepreneurs on like True Powell, Cam, Trist. We never got Nero on, unfortunately. Um, yeah, Nero didn't rate me at the time. Now I'm joking. You just weren't doing podcast. Trying to think who else. What's his name? Oh shit, we had a great episode. Man, there was just so many. I really can't name, and I don't want to do a disservice and not name someone, and then me looking back thinking, damn, I should have named them. But yeah, we met a bunch of cool people, bunch of cool entrepreneurs. It was an amazing time to now basically running my own business essentially. And I don't really edit for anyone anymore. Only Nero. I don't, yeah. It's more coaching consulting. I've got a right hand man myself, which does some of my short form editing to help me out because sometimes it can just ain't got the time. Ain't got the time like I used to, you know? Busy business owner. But yeah, it's great. Recently, I even joined an agency to help me with brand deals. They helped me land another brand deal with Adobe Max. I actually made them handle my brand deal with Shaw. Potentially working with some other good brands. Like I don't want to jinx anything. I don't know if that's still childish, but I'm not trying to jinx anything. But like the future's looking bright. And I just need to stay focused, stay creating content, good content. But yeah, I thought I'd also just start this on YouTube because why the hell not? You know, it's kind of calm being in the car as well. And it's funny because the room that I record my content in, there's a mad echo in there. So compared to my car, there's no echo in my car, but my room, the echo is mad. Using any other mic than the Shure SM7B, the echo is crazy. I flipping hate it. I'd like I have to put it in like the Adobe Enhance podcast voice thing, so it clears it up if I'm not using the Shure SM7B. So yeah, that's another thing. But yeah, there's so many things that I do want to talk about on these episodes. I do hope you guys enjoy it, man. Like, hope you're inspired, motivated. You took some sort of value from this, hopefully. Like maybe you learned something about charging or charging right, self worth, you know, how powerful your mind is. Like hitting 10 sales in a day, no one hit that until that day someone also hit 12. Crazy. Anyway, but I was like, bro, I hit 10 sales. I don't even think I'm the best salesman either. That's what's mad. You could say it's a coincidence, but maybe I wouldn't have tried so hard if I didn't want to hit 10 sales, if I didn't really, really keep thinking about 10 sales. And just how I got to meet Nero through one connection, which was Black Bezos, also known as Faith, really put me in contact with a bunch of people like JV, Cold Sweet, Nero, probably a bunch of other people as well. And Nero done the same. Yeah, man. It's wild. There's this one thing I want to say before I go, right? There's this one thing. I don't know if any one of you guys know this, yeah. It's not even a knowing thing, it's probably just a theory. Apparently there's a study of someone like being knocked out and they were like in a coma for like literally 5 minutes. And they've come back and they've said that they lived an entire life, family, kids, wife, mom, dad. They lived their whole entire life, died, and came back to this one where they woke up after it's only been 5 minutes in that lifetime, and they lived like fucking 40 years plus or whatever. And I was like, whoa, you lived 40 years and woke up in a hospital bed thinking you've lived a life. And he was like, it's so real. I was like, right now, we could just be living a life that's not even us. Like, we could be living a life that we're literally in a coma right now. And we just don't know it. We're just living our life thinking it's our life, or we could wake up and we've been in a hospital bed, just been in a coma. That's what I feel like sometimes when, like, this whole manifesting shit, like when you use your mind to basically bring things into reality. Like, I just think, am I just dreaming? Like, am I just dreaming and making things happen? And then I'm just like, oh, manifestation. But really and truly, nigga, you're on the brink of death and you're about to wake up on a hospital bed. But anyway, yeah, that's just a crazy story I thought about, bro. Hopefully this video turned out fine. I don't even know if the exposure's high or low. But I'll catch you guys in the next episode. I don't even know what to call this. If you guys have a name for this, let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. If you hate me, let me know in the comments. I don't mind. Peace.